Oh, hey, you're home. Did you have a good day? Well, mine could have been better. No, work was fine. Hey, can we talk, please? It's about that comment you made earlier today about my dad when we met him for lunch. Do you have the headspace to talk about this today, or do you need me to wait an hour to let you prepare? Okay, come sit with me. Okay, here goes. I deeply hated what you said about my dad. Like, a lot. The implication was that my dad bumbles through life not knowing how to interact with his family. Your Those words made him sound like he's just an idiot or a man-child, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Look, it's true that my dad isn't the most emotionally intelligent guy. I'll be the first to say so. He's very matter of fact and a little awkward in how enthusiastic he tries to be, and yes, he makes mistakes. But that doesn't make him a bad guy or father. He's a good man who was so young when he became a father and did what he had to do to survive, thrive, and build a full life for his family. Yeah, some of the things he's done have been questionable. I won't deny that, but his motives have never been bad. What, trying to make sure his kids had friends to go to school with? That they were happy, well fed, and loved, even when said kids just wanted to be angry at him because they didn't know how to regulate their emotions? I don't know. To me, that sounds like an amazing dad. You're right. My dad didn't handle it well when I came out. It sucked, and I was really angry with him for a while, but eventually he educated himself on being more supportive and unlearning all of his unhealthy attitudes, and we forged a better relationship. I forgave him a long time ago. Babe, with all due respect, that is not your decision to make. It's mine. If I've forgiven him for something that happened to me, I'm sorry. Your feelings are your own business, and I'm not going to lecture you about how you should feel. But you don't get to make those comments about the past behavior of someone who regrets their actions and atoned for them already. Reparations. The man pays for my therapy now. It's literally the only bill I don't pay myself because those are my reparations. You don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to snap. It's just my father's life before he met my mom, it wasn't easy. He was the youngest child and had to watch his older sibling get passed up for opportunities that he got to have. That meant there was a ton of pressure on him to do well at everything and meet all the expectations that his working class family had for him. Luckily for him, he loved learning and wanted to become a doctor. He got into university at 16 and traveled to the other side of the world away from his family to attend university on multiple scholarships and part time jobs, and then had to leave right before finishing his degree to take care of his dying father, elderly mother, and sister. He was so busy trying to pack a few lifetimes of learning into his one life. And he was a brown man during a time when men had to abide by the rules of patriarchy and immigrants had to be palatable for white folks. Is it any wonder that he learned some bad habits? He didn't have anyone to teach him differently or that it was wrong. He had an arranged marriage to my mom when they were still both pretty young. He had to find a job and support his dad, mom, sister, and wife while he and my mom fell in love. And soon after she got pregnant with me, they moved to another country. Then he had to travel all the time to support his wife and baby in a completely different career than the one he wanted, and still made time to call his wife and child every single day to make sure that they were doing okay. During a time when it was super expensive to do that. He lived and breathed for this family. He worked 5.5 days a week at a corporate job, sometimes working long hours where he'd come home at the end of the day to have dinner with us and then go right back to the office until late in the night. He finally got a master's degree by studying at night and going to night classes after working full days. He wouldn't sleep until 3 a.m. every single night for 2 years. He busted his ass to make sure I never had any student loan debt to worry about. He was nurturing and kind and adored us. His life meant nothing to him without his family. He breathed for us. So for you to sit there and judge him for a few ignorant acts he did when he didn't know any better, baby, that makes me so angry for him. You're my partner, and I love and respect you for everything so much. But that's my father. He sacrificed his whole life because once we came on the scene, we were his life. Please, I know you. You're empathetic and kind and loving. You can extend that for my dad. By all means, if he does something today that makes you uncomfortable and upset, you can tell him. He'll listen. The last thing he wants to do is make us uncomfortable, but all that stuff in the past, I forgave him for that. It's not his fault we lived in a community that's not very understanding of queer folks, and that's all he learned. For the longest time, queer and trans folks lived on the fringes of society, and the goal of most immigrants was to assimilate rather than stand out. And it's not like he knew other queer folks besides me. Yes, we all ragged on my dad when we were younger. I mean, the man gave you $20 when we were 8 so you'd be my friend, and now we're engaged. That's comedy gold for years to come. He's a little bit obsessed with egg-based dishes. That's weird, admittedly. But I'm older and wiser now, and I understand all the sacrifices he made to make sure we were happy and healthy. If I were to grow up to be like him, it'd be an honor and a privilege. I don't want us to make fun of him anymore. It's not right, and it feels kind of mean-spirited. I mean, so what if he's a dork and sometimes ignorant about things? He's still the best man I've ever known. Yeah, I really felt like he was being attacked for no reason with that remark. With tomorrow being Father's Day, it just felt doubly wrong. Oh no, he heard you. I saw his face as we were leaving. What do you think, babe? He was hurt. He's changed since we were kids, but that comment probably made him feel like you were questioning his integrity. That made me feel awful for him. I think you owe him an apology. Not just because it was hurtful or because it will be Father's Day tomorrow, but because he's also the closest thing to a father that you have too, and he's going to be your father-in-law soon. I think calling him would be a good idea, baby. Would you like me to prime him for the conversation before you speak to him? I can do that. I think he should be getting home about now. I'll call him. Hey, Papa. How's it going? I'm good. Listen, about earlier today. You know, what my partner said about you. I'm really sorry that happened and it hurt your feelings. It wasn't fair to you. Well, I know I don't owe you the apology, but they do. Well, actually, they're right here with me, if you're willing to talk to them. Go ahead, honey. I didn't make them feel guilty, Papa. I just told them the truth about you and how much you've done for our family. Papa, you sacrificed your dreams so you could earn a living for your whole family. I can't even imagine how you clawed your way into this amazing life that you built for us. But I'm so grateful, you know? You're an incredible father. You always had time for me, even when you were so busy and tired, you probably felt like collapsing every single night. You worked yourself close to the bone and you never once complained. even when I was a selfish brat. Oh, come on. I was a nightmare as a teenager, and you know it. I was so ungrateful for everything you did for me. But I never felt unloved. Even when you didn't react well when I came out, there was never a moment where I doubted that you'd take a bullet for me without hesitation. Being so loved by you is the greatest privilege of being your kid. I'm just glad I found someone to marry who loves me as fiercely as you do. Well, yeah, I hated being compared to you. I hated it because even then, I knew there was no shot for me to live up to the example you led. I felt like I was a failure before I'd even started because my father was just that good at everything. You know that old saying, right? Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava? Mother and father are like God. It felt like that growing up. That's how high of a standard you seemed to set. So, yeah, I kind of resented you. But I also worshipped you. You've always been my hero, Papa. I hope you know that. So, I'm sorry I was an ungrateful brat. But thank you for letting me be one so I could work through it and understand exactly how much you've sacrificed and worked for me to have a good life. Oh, and Ma, too, of course. Happy early Father's Day, Papa. Still on for dinner tomorrow night? Absolutely. I'm bringing a sunflower bouquet. Of course, I remember your favorite flowers, and men deserve to get them too. I love you too, Papa. Thank you for forgiving them. They're your child now too, so it's okay if they need to vent their frustrations on you like I did. But I don't know if you've heard about this newfangled thing we do now. It's called emotional regulation, and we use it to make sure that when we vent, we don't insult people as well. This is not blaming anyone, baby. You've been forgiven. We're moving on. It's just an example. Yes, Papa, boundaries. We like them, and you're allowed to have them too. Something to think about. We should go. I'm starving. Yes, tomorrow. We'll see you then, Papa. We love you. Yes, I'll be good. Bye. Thank you, baby. I really think you turned it around. My father loves hard and forgives easily when he can see or hear that the person is really remorseful for hurting him, and he already adores you. Forgiving you was never going to be hard. I love you too. Now come on. We should make dinner before my stomach tries to digest itself, and we have to order pizza.